In an unprecedented move, Donald Trump, fueled by his radical aspirations, is interfering with private American enterprises. Critics of Donald Trump, who claim he harbors authoritarian tendencies, have a plethora of instances to back up their assertions. Since reclaiming power around 7 months ago, the president has taken extraordinary measures to control virtually every aspect of American life. From the economy, to higher education, the judiciary, to the media, the military to museums, labor unions to law enforcement, healthcare to sports, independent federal agencies to banks, cultural institutions to nonprofit organizations, the legal profession to the entertainment industry. There seems to be no area of modern American society that Trump considers out of bounds. From his vantage point, the White House's reach knows no bounds. What's becoming increasingly apparent is that this includes meddling in the affairs of private American businesses. A recent analysis by Greg Ip in the Wall Street Journal shed light on this alarming trend. A generation ago, it was commonly believed that as China liberalized, its economy would mirror that of America. However, it's now capitalism in America that's starting to resemble China. Recent incidents include President Trump's demand for the resignation of Intel's CEO, the 15% share of specific chip sales to China that NVIDIA and AMD will give to Washington, the golden share Washington will acquire in U.S. Steel as part of Nippon Steel's acquisition, and the $1.5 trillion in promised investments from trading partners that Trump intends to personally oversee. According to Ip's report, characterizing this as socialism would be misleading. It's more akin to state capitalism, a blend of socialism and capitalism where the state directs the actions of ostensibly private enterprises. Last week, the Wall Street Journal published another insightful analysis, noting that Trump doesn't hesitate to act as the ultimate micromanager, dictating how companies should be run. His call for the removal of Intel's CEO, due to a Fox Business segment he watched, was a striking illustration of this pattern. This includes telling Detroit automakers not to hike prices and urging Walmart to absorb tariff costs. He's pressured the Washington Commanders football team to rebrand and wants Coca-Cola to switch from corn syrup to cane sugar. While one might initially perceive this as a display of populism, the reality is more complex. Trump isn't standing up for workers against corporations and executives. He's acting on his own whims and quest for power. In fact, as he exerts influence over the private sector, the White House is making life more challenging for employees, not easier. Business leaders who supported the GOP ticket during the 2024 election anticipated that Republican governance would mean corporate tax breaks and reduced regulations on polluters. While those expectations have been met, with the White House delivering on tax breaks and deregulation, business leaders have also found themselves dealing with more than they bargained for. The notion that Trump is a pro-business president is becoming increasingly absurd. As he attempts to commandeer America's private sector, the Republican is also imposing unpredictable policies on trade tariffs and immigration, both detrimental to employers. The incumbent president has launched a relentless assault on public trust in the Federal Reserve, instructed businesses to accept reduced profit margins, targeted the nation's higher education system relied upon by employers for skilled workers, demanded alterations to hiring practices reflecting his disdain for diversity initiatives, and made it harder to depend on the accuracy of government data, crucial for business decision-making. Throughout, rather than addressing the concerns of business leaders, he's openly ridiculed them. Just weeks before the 2024 election, the New York Times editorial board published a compelling piece with a clear message. American business cannot afford to risk another Trump presidency. They implored private sector leaders to acknowledge the risks of a potential second term for Trump. Voting based solely on narrow policy issues would represent a disastrously short-sighted view of American business interests, they wrote, warning business owners to fear the repercussions if he wins again. 9 months later, as the president continues to intervene in private businesses in ways that defy contemporary American standards, these warnings seem eerily accurate.